Good morning. This is just going to be 10, 10 inquiries, questions, things to go on regarding from being. To speak from the layer of being instead of the layer of self. And again, I can only honestly speak from my own experience from being and let that stand as the example of itself. That's it. Not dictating this for anyone else, not telling anybody else what to think, believe, do, say, blah, 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 any of that. Just 10 things, 10 inquiries, explanations, 10 inquiries on from being, on and from. Yeah. Kitty. And the husky. Freaking allergies. Don't mind me, I just got distracted right there. I'm just going to speak from myself, from my being on these. Not opinion, not outsourcing anything, not quoting anyone else. Just speaking from me, and that's it. I should take my Claritin earlier. Allergy season. 1. When do I feel most like myself? Now, these questions, I'm not really going to read into none of this. Okay, now let me just go back real quick. None of this is scripted. Even the questions, I'm not even contemplating on them beforehand. I'm not reading from notes. I just have questions generated that I'm going to be answering and speaking on. No script, no editing, no performance, just my husky over there just... He just got that look on his face. All right. When do I feel most like myself? All the time. Oh, I wish I had eye drops. Now the eyes. Don't mind me for a second. The worst thing you can do with allergies is rub your eye, because then you rub it once and it makes it worse, but it feels better, so you keep rubbing it and it makes it drier. And when do I feel most like myself? All the time. The only time I don't feel, all the time. When do I not feel most like myself? When I am reacting from disruption, negativity, and whatnot of being. Again, even from the point of, even from your being, there is still a threshold. Again, you just poking the bear. You can't keep poking the bear and expect the bear not to turn around and swat you. That's the only time I don't feel most like myself. I mean, that's the deepest reference of myself I'm talking about, though. I'm not talking about when do I feel good or when am I emotionally stable. I am literally saying when do I complete like whole within my being, when do I feel like most like myself. That has been unchanging in 41 and a half years of awareness. So all the time. When do I least though is in disruption, when I'm reactive to disruption, negativity and whatnot. Now that first one, that's actually the only one I actually thought on for a bit. I actually kind of thought that was funny because it's like when do I feel most like myself? It's like what? Like I'm always myself. I'm not again, your being is the influencer of your physicality. If I don't want emotions to be influenced, I don't allow them to be. But again, add in people people that matter most to me, you do add in disruption from them, and it becomes more than what could be handled or processed, and then it overloads and you end up reacting. And that's the most disruptive being, most disruptive being of myself, so to speak. What kinds of things naturally bring harmony to me? Honesty, authenticity, the deepest ones. Like if something is just honest and present, not performative, not intentional, somebody's saying, like how they say, what's that cliche thing? Somebody's always hiding intentions. People are like, as if everybody, that's another good one to really sit and contemplate on. That's one majority misunderstanding I've always received from people a lot. People seem to always have ulterior motives or speak with hidden intentions behind them and whatnot. Like as if nobody could just be directly honest or directly just expressive in the moment without hiding or trying to dictate the interaction even. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like if you meet somebody and or you're interacting with somebody and say you want to, say you don't like, say, okay, you're interacting with somebody, you don't like the person. So you intently start speaking in a way that is offensive to upset them or degrade them or anything of the sort. Is it so unheard of to normally not be like that? Which actually answers the next question, looking up real quick. Because, why? Again, I'm just thinking on, I'm just contemplating on that for a moment. Like, that's just another thing I've wanted to, I keep forgetting to sit with. Because that is one thing, one misunderstanding I've always received from a lot of people. That's a constant, one constant, reoccurring theme of conflict with people, between me and people, from my point of view speaking. And I've said it out loud a lot over the past like 15, 20 years. How it seems everybody always thinks everybody else, and everybody else does, a majority of the time, a lot of the time, have ulterior motives for even just talking with another, like just interactions. There's always something there, like an ulterior motive, or meaning something else. I need to sit with that. I think the dog is behind my desk. I'm just listening outside real quick. Again, I'm not editing any of this out. I'm just literally sitting here reorganizing because I just lost track. I know I was pointing out, but I got sidetracked with that distraction. That analysis distracted me, and now I'm just trying to get back on track where I was talking. Yeah, you know what? Like I said, I'm gonna have to sit with that another time. That's something to really research, sit with and research. Like I do both. I just sit there and go through my own understanding, my own experiences and whatnot, and then again, outsource information. You don't know everything. You got to look it up. Come on. Oh, I knew I should have taken that freaking allergy medicine earlier. I literally just took it before I hit record. Yeah, what kind of things naturally bring harmony to me? Natural harmonizing things in any way, shape, or form, if you want me to be specific. Even if I'm observing an ant walking across the freaking sidewalk, a bird in the tree, a cat next to me, a dog, a husky on the floor, sunlight coming through the curtains, anything. Any level of natural authenticity, harmony, presence, etc., that brings harmony to me. Even observing it. Three, what kind of things naturally disrupt me? Conflict, disruptions. Again, those are like, to explain a little bit, I literally just have to name the foundational word. What kinds of things naturally disrupt me? Well, there's an infinite number of examples to that. Disruption disrupts me. Well, what disrupts me then? Disruption disrupts me. You get it? It's not specific. It's not what example. Disruption disrupts being. The example is either disruption or it's not. Oh, it's still early. Oh, so don't mind me. Again, same thing with two. What kind of things naturally bring harmony to me? The things that are harmonizing, authentic, honest. It's like I could sit here and name examples after examples after examples. It's like when it comes to being, it's that more backwards. See, if people got to look at examples and then dig from there, dig downward to harmony from there, from being, it's backwards. It's not show me an example and then I'll choose whether it's harmony or not. It's the example's there and it's either harmonizing or not. The harmony is either present or it's not. It's not a choice. Again, my being did not create any of this. So how do I dictate it? So again, harmony, what brings harmony or disruption to me is harmony or disruption. And then it's just the examples after that. What's being presented is either harmonizing or disruptive in those two specific questions. And good, because on that, I'm not here to translate. That one was a little tricky, because I stopped myself from explaining and just spoke from being and left it there. Not trying to build a bridge, but I can't build that bridge completely, but I can still speak from my own orientation. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. 4. Why does authenticity matter to me so much? Authenticity it is the most honest state anything can be in. It is the most unargumentative state. You can't argue against authenticity, because anything away from authenticity is disruption, degradation, etc. Now, authenticity doesn't mean complete and all that nonsense. So again, why does it matter to me so much? because of authenticity, understanding authenticity. That's why it matters to me. Pardon me. Because that is the best state anything can be in. And to simply observe something else that is not of you or of me as an authentic expression of itself, whether it's aware or not, is beautiful. Bird, a rock, river flowing, trees blowing, flowers, grass, weeds, bugs, nature, shapes of cars, shapes of vehicles, shapes of people. Like, that's just visual references. Like, just seeing authenticity. It's just, again, it's just authenticity is self-explanatory. It is the best. It is. There's. Authenticity is not stagnant either. That is why it is not complete, because life is not stagnant. Authenticity just it's maintained, and you have to maintain it. I'm trying to think without. I'm not trying. I'm trying to go too deep with that one. No, because I know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Why? The question is, why does authenticity matter to me so much? And instead of me expressing me, I'm explaining authenticity. That's what I did wrong. Which, no, I mean, I was right and wrong. I got over explaining authenticity. And it doesn't always it's not always nice. Now, old coworker, and I don't know how many times I keep using him as an example. He was one of those blunt. He will just speak his mind. That was a little naturally more. I don't know about, yeah, a little worked up, but a vulgar guy too. But it wasn't a performance. He was just authentically that himself. And my customers would complain about him all the time. Oh, he's rude, this and that. He said this, and I knew the guy wasn't performative. I knew he was just being himself. So I got along with him great. I never, as rude as he was to other people, it's funny. Like, he would come, like, I could, he was never bluntly rude to me. Maybe a few times. I can't really remember, because, like I said, that was just his natural way of expressing himself, of being. I mean, he complained to me. but just, bantering, just, you know, complaining about work or complaining about a customer or nonsense or something. But he never, yeah, I never had a problem with him ever because he was authentic. But like everything people complained about, no, because I also never gave him a reason to either. Because again, he was authentic, and he was my fill-in, so I was considerate too. That's too bad. I missed that guy too. He moved to Colorado. He was all right. Like I said, he was, you know, it's like he was, rough around the edges, had his own issues. It wasn't, he was blunt, honest, and rude, but it was unperformative. It was authentic, regardless of how aware he is of even himself. And that was present for me to observe. And, when there's no performance, I get along with authenticity great. That's why it matters to me so much. It just it naturally orients from being because your being is authentic. Or my being. I'm This is also practice to not do that, not speak outwardly, like like dictating, like not to even speak that way. That's not the intention. I'm not intending to speak outwardly, dictating things. Stupid language just comes out that way sometimes. Like see again, practice. Now I just stop myself. Just think out loud, so to speak. But oh, this is far deeper than thinking. Basically, being out loud. More of that, not more, less explaining and explaining. Like I said, this is practice. This is so much freaking research and work. And every time I find a way to articulate, I end up refining it even more, and then it's just a constant refinement when it's like, okay, can we hold up and can we just run with, can we just go with this now? Like different ways of expressing from being. Everything I've tried before were different examples of expressing from being, like expressing from understanding, expressing of understanding, or stuff like that. Like I was putting it before, or now I've basically just wait, where am I even speaking from? Why don't I just speak from there? And that's what I'm doing. But it seems like every video, every new little tweak, and it's suddenly like the whole thing is just like something different. Like not different, like just the previous video was more explanational, and the ones even before that were even more explanational, which was causing friction, trying to translate a point of view I couldn't do slowly articulating and refining into what is now this is expression from my being, which is my point of view, not trying to translate or build bridges and all that I can't do. And now that I started that, now that's being refined, and it's like I'm just trying to make some videos. I'm just trying to share and let it be what it is. And it's like refinement. Okay, when is it going to be okay enough? When is enough going to be enough? As honestly, some of the videos I made like last year were just like, before understanding of a lot was there, it was like, it very chaotic, like just not knowing, like before, like last year I was putting a lot of things in a religious tone because that was the easiest way to explain things that were understandable in a way. All right, that went too far. I'm moving on. Why do some people feel real to me? Again, I just explained it. I just explained it. From 4. Why does authenticity matter to me so much? Especially people. Why do some people feel real to me? Because they are embodying and expressing levels of authenticity. How much? I don't know. I don't have any specific example. How much? It's however much is being presented to be observed, whether the person is even aware of it themselves or not. Like if the other person presenting the authenticity doesn't have to be even aware of that authenticity of themselves. But the observer, to observe that authenticity, has to be aware of it and observe it. That's why some people feel real to me. They're not performative. Like right now, I'm not talking again, there's no agenda. I'm not speaking like, oh, look at me. I gotta be so pretty and handsome. I gotta put, my glasses are, my sunglasses are in my car. I don't gotta put on a facade. I don't have to put on a show, do anything, any kind of performative. I just have questions, and then I have my being to speak from. That's all. So, that's me being as real and authentic as I can be in the process, in this whole practicing, refining, and what I just complained about. All right. Come on, left eye, before I go up, we can put you under the faucet. It's like, fine, get watery, but don't water that much because I gotta wipe the freaking tear out of my eye or off my face. 6, why do some environments feel comforting while others feel draining? Again, environment. You walk into a room full of people that are, okay, example. You walk into a viewing room in a funeral house. Actually, that's a bad example. And we all know it. Or rather, I'm aware of it and I've observed it. I was going to say it's usually doom and gloom, which actually is how it should be. Not doom and gloom like bad in a way, just quiet, mourning, respectful, but yet, what are people doing? What do people do and be like some of the people do. I mean, yeah, I can understand some people, they don't see each other until somebody dies. But, like to be in the same, like in the next room, from the viewing room, and people are mourning, and then like you got family, like even friends and family will be in the next room just yakking, talking, and giggling, and just anything. Because again, they maybe haven't seen each other in years, So that was a bad example of the environment, because I had to internalize one, and I internalized all the details of one, and it wasn't all negative, especially even the follow dinner people usually have. And I remember I even observed then people laughing and giggling, and that really disturbs me. It really, really does. Like, how the hell can you see now? Now I just upset myself. Because that really that's internally disturbing. Like somebody just lost their life. You just showed their mourning and respect, and then even the party afterward is like a literal party. Except, now I'm only talking about ones I've been to. Instead of celebrating the life of the person, what are they doing? Socializing. Kind of seems backwards to me, but in actuality that I have witnessed, what I think is right, or whether what my being knows is right towards my orientation, is backwards from the majority of what I have witnessed and experienced and been around. That usually I'm the one sitting at the table, even at the dinner, quiet, mourning, contemplation, and just sitting there like, in loss, in a state of loss. I cannot interact and be social and smile and giggle, even with somebody I haven't seen in 10 years, if I am in that state. And yet other people can. Yeah, they can. And I'm just speaking from me here. That is really, really fucking disturbing to me. I don't care about the reasons. I'm not arguing those. I'm not dictating other people. It is simply disturbing to my being. And that was an example right there. What should be one way is another, or both. You got people mourning, but then you got people there that are giggling and having a good time themselves and with others, not in celebration of the person's life. Like, yeah, somebody passes away and people want to throw a party that is oriented towards the person. That's the primary function of it. Awesome, great. Obviously, there's going to be some socializing stuff, but no, the ones I've all been to, it's always just everybody just goes to a catering hall, or like a hose company, and they all just sit around tables, eating, giggling, laughing. Or some people are still upset too, but I've never seen anybody in the party make it about, which they, like all the time, and always appears like a party. But the person is never the center of the celebration. Like not like the. I don't know. Like I forget why they even have it like an after party, because like dinner and food and whatnot. I forget why. I just know the functions I have witnessed have not been the explanation for them. For the reason for the after party and the gathering and everything, again, should be to celebrate the person's life. You just mourn their passing, and now you're all gathered around food and refreshments. You should be celebrating and remembering their life primarily in that function, not primarily socializing just to socialize. That's mine. That's on that. And that went quite far with that. Why do some environments feel comforting while others feel draining? Well, that's one that feels draining, and why? Comforting. Well, honestly, you walk into a room where it's all doing exactly what I said it would be doing, like what it feels like for my being. It would be comforting. Even walking into a viewing room, and everybody is silent. Everybody is showing respect and mourning. And internalize that too much. So I'm not. It's overwhelming. Okay, that's all. It's the very authentic atmosphere, even in mourning, is comforting and overwhelming. I'm not getting overwhelmed from sadness or mourning. It's just overwhelmed from being, internalizing that whole scene from past experiences myself. And that much going on internally is just, yeah, overwhelming. That's all. It's like getting choked up. That doesn't mean I'm sad or I'm crying. Doesn't mean you're getting emotional. No, it's literally like from being. I'm not emotionally reacting. I am being. My emotions are being overwhelmed by internalizing everything going on in my being. That's as simple as I could put it. And moving on before I get dragged back into that. Actually, you know what? I gotta go to the bathroom. That'll give me a minute to just center myself again. I love this pause button. Oh, I almost hit the stop button. That would have sucked. I don't like starting these over again. I don't like cutting them up. Well, not yet. I just want to hit record and let everything that is stand. And if I go too far off, if I explain too far off the point, then I'll just delete it or start over again. Seven. Why do I naturally notice harmony or disruption? Why do I naturally... Wait, what? That answers itself. Oh, come on, man. Why do I naturally notice harmony or disruption? Because I naturally notice harmony or disruption. Not the why is that not. Now you see, this is another one of those, like a trait, like a natural trait of being is what aligns or what aligns or doesn't, what is harmonizing, congruent, and what is disruption, negative, whatnot. Again, does everything negative that I don't choose everything that is negative towards me. Like, I don't choose what is harmful. I observe, and if something being presented to me is negative or disruptive, then it becomes known, noticed, understood, realized, and then it's my choice after that point. If the person isn't somebody that matters most to me. Because then it's just like observed disruption. It's like, whatever, man, you know. Whereas, if it's somebody that matters, yeah. My being gets disrupted, and it's not a choice. It's just because I value them. It's just like a byproduct. It's not a choice. So I don't naturally notice harmony or it's not a choice. And when I do choose, it's because it's not a choice. Therefore, I choose to be more in harmony and congruent with my being than the opposite. Again, I didn't create anything externally from my existence, from my being, from my body, anything. I didn't create this phone I'm talking into. Because I need better lighting for the green screen behind me for my PC stuff. It's like, even my computer stuff, I put it together, but I didn't create it. Yeah, this is just a tool. I mean, how I use it is either going to be harmony or disruptive. Well, I'm just saying, like, okay, another person. Well, I don't dictate nobody. I didn't create nobody, so things determine themselves, and I simply choose their influence or not. There's always information, though. All right. Let's look at the clock. My son will be home from school in about 20 minutes. You're making weird ass sounds for a husky. Mr. Kaiser. Come here. Come here. Come here for a second. Here. Where's your Kaiser? Look at. Hey, look at. Where's your Kaiser puppy? You never want to look where I want you to look, even at the turtle. 8. Why do I say my being is primary to me? Because that's where I started. That's the only orientation I've had my entire life. Since awareness and awareness of my own singular existence, since awareness and thyself became activated, so to speak, it has been from there. Why do I say my being is primary to me? Oh, primary to me. Well, that's just orientation, natural orientation. I didn't have a choice. I started that way. Again, I've always been internally outward oriented. I take things straight to my being. And again, for 4 decades, I thought everybody else was too. People don't talk like this. People don't discuss this kind of shit, do they? No, you'd rather fight over egos, nonsense, money, social identities, statuses, what you have, what you look like, what you're doing, all that. And yet, the only people out there talking about being are, I'm not going there. It pisses me off. It honestly does. That there's too much performance out there. And even this anything but that. I'm not performing shit. I have an orientation, a point of view, a state of being that I've always been, that is not the common orientation. Therefore, just to generally speak, that is valued information, period, worth sharing. So that's what I'm doing. What do I have that is, to put it in plain ass English, what do I have that is valuable to others in the world, or just to share, just to get out there? My orientation to being. That's the best I got. That is the best that the best thing I'm good at is just being me. And that is oriented inward in being and experiencing everything. I am my existence, my being that is within the self, within a physical body, experiencing physical reality. Enough. No. For Christ's sake. You have a girlfriend, you don't need shirts. Snuggles. Pervert. What are you bringing it over here for? Come here, kitty. You know, if you don't want to drop the shirt or come over to me. Well, he had his fun. Oh. Why do I say my being is primary to me? Because again, I've only ever been, okay, to put it in plain ass English, the intangible self. That has only been the primary me. That is me. That's all I can say on it. That is me explaining me. Nobody else. I'm not explaining anything on anyone else, just me. And as far as people like taking that, like how everybody says, like they take being and they distort reality with it. You know what? Never mind. I'm not. I don't have the time to ramble on off topic. All right. What do I mean when I say I exist, then experience reality? I swear to God, I wasn't looking at that, and I just said it. I just said that. I'm really not. I really did not read. No, I'm not reading ahead. Every video, if any of them are, I don't know how many are still there, I don't read ahead. Even reading biblical verses, I don't read ahead. I read one line at a time. My attention doesn't go past. What do I mean when I say I exist, then experience reality? Because again, the constants, the presence as the thing always present in now, the actual now, not delayed perception of reality, the awareness. What is the only thing that is absolutely constant present now? Your being. Or rather, okay, my being, okay? I'll say it. My being. You all look at your own being and analyze that yourself. I'm sorry, I've been doing it my whole life, so I can't speak for anybody else but myself. My very awareness and myself and my awareness my awareness and myself, my very being, and my awareness of my being, those two things going on their own, simultaneously, but also at the same time. That is, I exist and experience reality. My awareness, myself, my being, the awareness and the self, and then awareness of the self, and awareness of thyself. Two things separately, and then combine them, but not stop them separately to do a third thing. My alarm. It's awareness and yourself, in thyself. Those two things simultaneously going on themselves. Awareness. That is such a pretzel. But then aware of one and the other, and back to the other, and back and forth, but together. You know what? Never mind. I already when did I explain that? I already explained that elsewhere. It's easier typing that than to say that out loud. Like, it's harder to explain through vocabulary speaking than typing. All right. I exist and experience reality. How? 10. What do I actually mean by being? The authentic present state of your intangible self, the foundation of you. Your being is the foundation of you. Period. My nostril, it's just outside, not the inside. How do I put that? It is not understanding the whole of you or every single little piece or any of that fictional stuff. It's simply being aware of the foundation of you. Not the intricacies that even allows your existence, but just the foundation of your being, of your existence. He'll be home. Junior will be home in a few minutes. Now, what? And as far as being, again, like, I don't know how to, that's like asking me to describe normality. It's like asking me to sit here and describe every single motion of breath that naturally happens without your thinking at all. Oh, I just took a deep breath through my nose and out. Nostrils expanding. Lungs expanding. Like, you can't even describe it as you're doing it. You can't. It's like you can't describe, you can just be it. I can only explain like the location. It's just the foundation. Because the only thing that's beneath it is the very essence of life that allows you to even be. And all that was simply expressions of being, from my experience. One line I will repeat, I do have it saved. I can only honestly speak from my own experience from being and let that stand as the example of itself. What anybody else thinks, believes, perceives, hears, I don't care. I'm not responsible. I'm speaking from my experience. I'm speaking on myself, not for anyone, not to impose anything, not to boast anything, nothing of the sort. Honest expression from my being, and that's it. Which is also exactly why I need privacy, because, again, people don't normally sit down and talk like this. And when you do, you get that look like, well, you sound crazy. Yeah, real crazy. Defining, yeah. Other people are defining. You know what? I'm not even going to go there. Look in the mirror and see what you define yourself from before you judge anybody on any way. Have a nice day.